So you guys been watching as I've been working on my 2013 CTS coupe, and one of the things I've been chasing is the issue of when I first turn on the car and the idle is high for those few seconds after you first turn it on from a cold start, that you really don't have brakes at that point. You put it in drive or reverse, and it will roll, and you can push harder on the brakes, but nothing will really stop you. Apparently it's a known issue on some of them, and people have been troubleshooting this. I've tried out a few things, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can see some of the things I tried to try to mitigate this issue. And so today I was just checking out why my horn wasn't working. That'll be another story. And I just happened to notice, it may be a rookie mistake for me, but this right here one is number 9 in the book. And I just noticed that I wasn't even looking for it, but I just noticed that it was blown. So I took a look in the book, and it's brake vacuum pump right there. And as you can see, that one is blown. So I'm going to change that one out to see if that was my issue all along. Now, if it is the issue, that means something is probably up with the pump, because a fuse just don't blow out of the blue. Something usually causes it. Did the pump for some reason seize up at some point that would have caused for that to happen? We'll see. So maybe it's two things that were happening here. So when I originally changed out the vacuum pump right here, this is the old one put back in. I had changed it out and it didn't seem to make any difference. The reason it may not have made any difference was maybe because it just wasn't working altogether because of this blown fuse. So the vacuum pump may have seized inside, which may have resulted in the fuse blowing, and then me changing out the pump, not realizing the fuse was blown, may have given me a false impression that the pump was okay. So I'm going to change this out. I'll see if it makes any difference, see if it blows again. If it does, then I'll order back out the pump again and see what happens. All right, so I did find one to replace this one temporarily till I have a chance to run to the market and get one. And I put it in there. It's a slightly bigger than the one that's in there, so you never really want to do that. I'm sorry, right here. But I'm just going to see what happens, if it works or not. So unfortunately, I won't be able to check into the morning on a cold start because I've already been running the car. But I'm just going to see if there's any difference at all to be felt, or to see if that one blows. I'm pushing down on the pedal, see if anything feels different. I wouldn't say so. Oops, no brakes at all on that one. Because the RPM were higher, so there was like no brakes there. So now I want to go out and take a look at the fuse to see if that calls for it to blow or not. All right, it's not blown, but that doesn't mean that this pump over here just doesn't work at all. So that's telling me I maybe need to go ahead and give that one a try again. So stay tuned. I'm going to order out another pump, and I'm going to pick up the correct size fuse too, and we're going to try this again. All right, so the new one arrived. It's almost dark, but I really want to try it out. I already have a video out there on how to install it, so I'm not going to go step by step with you guys on that. I'm just want to try to see if this is going to work or not. And if you remember, I don't know if you remember, but some of the ones you find on Amazon, it says it's 4 hours, and it really is, but the manufacturer made the a particular part, a little piece on here too big, so they don't always fit. So I wanted to do a test fit to make sure this will lock on before taking the old one off, because the ones where it's not I'll show you on the old one. If it's too big, it won't lock on, so the hose will just keep slipping off. So this one is fits well. And you remember these big fat things over here, soft things right here? These right here are going to have to come out because they are too thick. And so I'll take those on out now. We're going to use the ones from the old one in here. These are the ones we're taking out. They're just too thick. And if you watch the other video, a lot of this is stuff you've seen already, so you know why I'm not going step by step on here. Just unplug this. Set that out of the way for now. And now we can just unscrew it, the two 10mm bolts, and get it out of here. It's loose enough now where I should be able to do it by hand. Oh, I almost forgot. There's the nuts underneath. So, got the nut and the bolt. All right. And for the other side as well. Nut and bolt. So now it should come on out, no problem. And so this, so what we're clear on this, you see this part right here? On some of those, these are raised, this part right here is raised really high. So it prevents the distance between here and there is where that black clip on here locks in, and this doesn't give enough space in there so that black clip can never get down in there properly to lock into place, so the hose just keeps slipping off. So I'll put the link for the one I got because this works, but the very first one I got was made like that, and then the second one I got was made like that as well. So unless you get the original GM, you know, it could be you may not get the right one. So we're going to take the rubber pads out, and just to show you what I mean, you see that height difference? See the height difference? Pretty different sometimes too, hey? Our bolts aren't long enough for that. That's why I have to change it out. So we're going to put the meatier end on top, the fatter end on the bottom, that is, and the lower end on top. So you want this, you see how that one doesn't have the wide metal band on there? We want that on top because the bolt will press down against that. And so you want the fat end on the bottom. Right. Set that in there. Also make sure you have the same plug. That would be a bad mistake. So going to make sure that it locks into place, which it does. Now we'll take our nut and bolt and put it back in there. Put my oil cap back on and then get inside and see what happens. All right, remember the fuse has a new one in there, and it's the number 9 fuse. Now we have a new one of these in here. It's the engine is warm, so I'm not going to have that cold start for tonight, so we may not know the results until the morning, but I'm gonna get inside just to see if there's any type of noticeable difference. Okay, so we're inside. Oops. Put my foot on the brake. See if there's any difference in the feel of the pedal. I would say it's hard to say. I don't know if there's really any difference. Do I have brakes? Well, I do have brakes. So right now they're behaving as they are expected to behave. Tomorrow, I guess, will be our telltale sign. Well, we'll know for sure tomorrow. So let's stay tuned to tomorrow morning and see what happens. I'll say, okay, so we're back the next morning. I haven't started it up yet, so we'll see if it's going to work. So when the RPMs, when you do a cold start in the morning, or when your car has been sitting for a couple hours and it's nice and cold again, the engine that is, your RPMs generally will kick up to around 1,500 RPMs. So what we want to, 15,000 RPMs. And what we want to do is see what will happen with the brakes after I changed out the brake booster pump, the electric brake booster pump, and put in that fuse, that rookie mistake that I made, not catching that the fuse were blown. When it warms up, usually about 30 seconds later, it'll drop down between 8,000 to 1,000, between 8,000 to 10,000 RPMs. And then the brakes work fine up in that range. But when it's up around the 15,000 mark, there's no brakes at all. You put your foot on the brake, you put it in drive, and the car just start rolling just like if you didn't have your foot on the brakes. So let's give it a try and see what happens. See the RPMs up there. I'll put it in there. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's the first time I've had brakes right away. And the engine is still high. You can hear it still. And now it's dropping down. The RPMs. And that's about where the brakes would normally work. But yes, I have brakes. So I call that a success. Hey, thanks for watching me through this saga, everyone. So it was really kind of 2 issues, and I didn't catch it because of the rookie mistake that I made, that I should have checked that fuse, which for some reason I thought I did. So it was a blown fuse that was blown because the original pump has seized up. So there were 2 parts up in there. So changing out the pump and putting in a new fuse that's not blown resolved the issue. So if I had caught that blown fuse a while back when I first did this, it would have saved me a lot of troubleshooting. So rookie mistake, lesson learned. But I thank you guys for joining me and watching me along through this process. Go ahead and hit the like button, please, and please hit that subscribe button, because I'm gonna have a lot of other YouTubes coming out for videos for working on my CTS coupe, and I have a ton of them out there already. Thanks a lot.